Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kayla. Today I'm going to show you guys a graphic eyeliner look that was inspired by a photo I found on Instagram, which I'll attach right here. And I'm going to show you guys a couple different techniques and use some pretty cool products that you might be interested in yourself. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, first we're going to use these face tapes to lift the eye. And you're going to start by pressing tape right above the tail end of the brow, and then apply the other side same way. And to make sure that this stays on, if you have oily skin, you can use an alcohol to kind of clean up right on that skin and make sure it stays nice and stuck. Okay, and now this has multiple notches, so you can adjust the intensity. And what we're going to do is start by pulling this back. And you can kind of see how high up you want your brows. If you pull it straight around, it's going to just kind of widen the brows, not necessarily lift it up. So you want to lift up and then attach these notches to the other side. And then you can go ahead and let your hair down so it blends in. Alright, so now you have a nice lifted eye so that your eye look will be a lot easier and you can see a lot more of the design on the eyelid. I don't recommend wearing these throughout the day. They do stretch your skin, so if you're doing an editorial photo shoot, this is more for what that is for. Alright, so next I'm going to go in with my foundation, and I'm going to use my Temp 2 airbrush foundation with the custom pods where I'll create my own foundation shade. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and I'll be right back. Okay, next I'm going to go in with my lighter shade and apply this to conceal and highlight around the face. Okay, now that we have our base down, I'm going to go in and continue using my airbrush machine to go create a bleached brow effect. So I'm going to use my lightest shade in my kit here. I have number 1, and I'm going to add this to my pod, and then I'm going to use my stencil from Anastasia Beverly Hills to create a bleached brow effect. And this is the Slim High Arch stencil. And if you'd like to go check out how I do this airbrush technique, you can check out my last video on tips of using your airbrush machine. So I finished the bleached brow. I finished the bleached brow effect, and I'm gonna go in to do the eye look. Actually, I'm gonna go in and finish up the skin. So I'm using my Milani Supercharged Cheek and Lip Tint here to create more of a contoured effect. This is color 170 Dynamic Bronze. Okay, now that I have blended out my cream contour and highlight, I'm going to go in with powder to smooth out these harsh lines and then add my blush and highlighter powder. I'm using Too Faced bronzer in the Chocolate Soleil color, and then I'm just using this fluffy brush here to continue sculpting out my face. Oh my god, I forgot my lower lip. Okay, don't forget this. There we go. I don't know what I was looking at. How did I forget that? Okay. And continuing. Right, now we're gonna go in with our blush shade. And this is also from Milani. And this is the number 5 Luminoso powder. And then I'm just using the same brush, going right above the bronzer and contour, and then sweeping back into my hairline. Last but not least, the highlighter. The highlighter I'm using today is Fenty Beauty Killawatt Highlighter, and this is the Mean Money Hustle Baby shade. And I'm using a smaller fluffy brush for this, and I'm just going to go in and kind of combine both shades here, and just go right at the highest point of the cheekbone, and then you can sweep it back up and around into a sort of C shape around the eye. Alright, now that we're all dewy and glistening, I'm going to go in with my mattifying powder to just mattify the areas that I don't want to be shiny. And I'm using my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and it's just translucent. And then I'm just using this same brush here to go through and blot out those areas and kind of highlight a little bit more underneath the eye here. And I'm just going to use this brush to sweep away the extra powder everywhere else. Now we can officially go into the eye look. So for today I'm using Suva Beauty Hydra FX water activated liners. So you're going to need a little bowl of water and a fine line brush. This brush from Suva Beauty, it comes with one of the palettes that I've bought from them. So I have this one. This is the Hydra FX palette, and it comes with a fine tip brush. And these ones also are UV activated, so they glow in the dark, which is pretty cool. You don't want to use a lot of water because you make it too liquefied and then it will start to drip down your face. So start by dipping your brush in the water, and then you can slowly adjust how much water you need to add to get the pigment on your brush. And we're going to start with the first C shape on the eye. Okay, I have both of my red designs on both my eyes, and I noticed that I probably didn't let it dry down fast enough before I opened my lid like this, but I would recommend letting it dry down before you completely adjust your eyelids and you open up your eyes all the way. I think we're going to go into the next color, which is the orange shade, and then we can go in and kind of shape out this inner portion and clean it up. Alright, so next I'm going to go and make the orange. Actually, I have an orange here. So I have an orange in my Suva Beauty UV Brights. So I'm going to use this orange, and using the same brush. It's okay if the red and orange kind of blend together initially, because we're just going to transition the red into the orange shade anyways. I design on, and one thing I want to do is kind of transition it a little bit better because it's pretty separated in terms of the red going into the orange. So I'm going to go in with one of my shades from my Sephora Pro palette. It's the editorial palette. I'm going to use this shade right here to kind of blend the two colors together. And I'm just going to use this angled brush and make sure that the color has dried down before you do this. I think that looks a lot better. Alright, so now that my colors are transitioning a little bit smoother, I'm going to go and clean up these areas that kind of melted into my eyelid here. I'm using a light concealer shade, almost white, And then I'm just gonna go and brighten up this whole center of the lid here. Make sure to not move your eye at all while you're doing this, because you want to let this part set and even put some powder on top of it. Next we're going in with our eyeliner, and I'm using my Stila waterproof liquid eyeliner, starting at the center of the eye, and then we're just going to create a little wing. Next we're going to curl the lashes and then pop on a few of our groups of 3 individual lashes. Okay, now that we have our lashes on, we're gonna go into the waterline, and in the photo she has a red liner in her waterline, so I'm gonna go back in with the Hydra liner here. Only good for photos probably, because considering it activates with water, you probably wouldn't want it in your waterline for too long if you're trying to make it last all day. So maybe use more of a waterproof eyeliner if you want something to stay all day. And then once you are done with that, we're gonna go in with a little bit of a red eyeshadow underneath the eye. So we're gonna go back in with the Sephora Beauty, or the Sephora Pro editorial palette, and then we're gonna use this Blood Moon shade and smoke out a little bit of red to tie that in with your waterline. And lastly, we're gonna do our lips. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in shade Versatile Chestnut 610, and just going around to contour out my lips. And then we're gonna go in and add a gloss on top of that. This is the LA Girl Lip Plumping Gloss, and it has a little bit of a tint to it, I think. Or maybe my lips just get redder because it's supposed to be plumping, so it kind of like activates some tingling in your lips. Be back in a few minutes to see if this actually works. I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but I feel like the plumping actually works, but having a gloss on your lips already kind of makes your lips look more plump because it's shiny and reflective. But yeah, that is the complete look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I am looking forward to next week's video. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, please. Thank you so much.